Go.
Hi, my name is Zach Graham, and this is our case study project for nutrition. My case study was on my wife, Kim Graham. This is some of her personal information: date of birth, age, height, weight, ethnicity, menstruation status. Personal information: BMI was 22.1, which falls into the normal healthy range for a woman of her age, according to the dietary guidelines in the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. Body fat was at 22.8%, which is also in the normal range, and that's after having 2 children. Waist circumference was 34 inches. This measurement is under the average of 37.5, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. Kim was a cheerleader in high school, was very active. Her weight has always been in the normal range even after having 2 kids. She lost the baby fat very quickly through exercise and good eating habits. Still part of her personal information. Some of the medical history: she's never been diagnosed with any diseases. She is currently on no medication for or any supplements. All of her dietary needs are through whole foods. Here's some of her 3-day stuff. We started on Sunday, 5/19. Here's some of the foods she ate along the way: some fruits, vegetables, salads. She slipped up there with the Pringles chips. Then the night for supper, we did some steak fries, tater tots, and green beans. But anyway, here's some of the totals. She consumed just over 1,000 calories that day, 56 ounces of water, 26.3 grams of protein, 127.4 grams carbohydrates, 18.6 grams of fiber, 55.2 grams of fat, which is 45%, which is a little bit on the high side. Saturated fat, 15.7. I have 3 of these. I'll show you the next one. There's 520. That's the next day on Monday. You can see some of these totals here. I'll also have that sent to you through another format. 521 as well. I'll talk about the averages in just a minute. She consumed a little bit higher on the calories at 1337. Energy expenditure, her BMR. Through the calculation, her BMR is 1454.95. Her RMR is 1416. This was Sunday. Everything's calculated here. Sleep, cooking, everything all the way down to sum of par, PAL, and T totals there. That's Monday. Send this thing, have everything calculated. I also send that in a different format. And there it is, energy expenditure there for Tuesday. Body composition. I used 2 methods to get the body fat percentage and BMI. I chose to use our body fat analyzer from Alexander High School. We used this instrument to do our fitness gram testing here at the school, and then I got her waist circumference measurement, and then here it is as follows: 22.8% body fat, 22.1 BMI, 34-inch waistline measurement. Body composition. All of these fall in the normal or average category for a woman of her stature and age. This is according to the Centers of Disease Control and the dietary guidelines. 37.5 is considered the average for a woman's waistline, 23% being the average for body fat percentage, 24 being the average for BMI. Kim is just under in all categories, but is still in a very good range. She has a negative energy balance right now. She consumes fewer calories than she's expending. She is trying to lose a few pounds and has lost 5 in the last 2 weeks. Energy through diet. Kim does obtain enough energy throughout the diet. She feels good and she does not get tired. Hydration, depending on what you're looking at, dietary guidelines for Americans 2010 says she's drinking the right amount of fluid. According to the Mayo Clinic, she should be drinking 2.2 liters a day when she's consuming on an average about 1.9. But she feels good. She doesn't feel dehydrated, and I think she's doing a good job there. Here's some healthy ranges for women and all the if they're consuming this amount of calories for carbohydrates, fat, and protein in women, which my wife falls into the good range in all of these. Her fat intake's a little high though. Protein intake, Kim takes protein intake falls between the normal range, normal being between 10 and 35%. Kim's 3-day daily intake was 9.4, 15, and 17%, which makes her in between the 10 and 35%. Her carb intake, your carb intake should be under 45% daily. Kim's 3-day daily intake was 46, 36, and 34%. She falls into the normal range here. She was 1% higher on one of those days. Fat intake recommended is between 20 and 35% a day, and her 3-day totals were 45, 49, and 49%. So she's eating a little bit too much fat in her diet for at least those 3 days. Nutrition diagnosis. Kim seems to be eating the right amount of foods for what she's trying to do. She is eating a little bit too much fat in her diet. If she'll cut down on some of the fat intake, she might lose a few more pounds a little quicker. She seems to be hydrated and making good choices with her fruits and vegetables. The only thing that I would change in her diet and exercise is the amount of fat intake. Cut back on that and she'll notice a big difference. The amount of calories she's consuming is good for what she's trying to do. She's trying to drop a few pounds, so she's done a good job of that in the last couple of weeks. She meets all her nutritional guideline requirements in all categories except for the fat content. She's consuming a little bit more, and we talked about that. She just needs to cut back on that a little bit. Maybe change, what type of meat she's eating or things like that. And then my message for her is to keep up the good work and focus on the end prize, which is what she's doing. Thank you.